just raise your hands virtually on through the Zoom app. We'll call on each of you to ask your questions. If you can just say your name and what publication you're from before you speak, that would be helpful. Okay. We'll kick off. We'll have about 15 minutes or so. So first question is to Andres. Remember to unmute yourselves as well, please, and then mute again after.
Well, good morning, Tom and Mr. Rod, also Hannah. I'm Andres from Ciclismo Colombiano. I would like to ask.
Hang on. Sorry. I didn't follow my own instructions. I didn't unmute.
What? I'm sorry. It was me. I mean, yeah. I'm gonna ask, right?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. I'm sorry. Again. Good morning, Tom and Mr. Rod. I'm Andres from Ciclismo Colombiano. I would like to ask to Mr. Ellingworth what the strategy will be for the preparation of Daniel Felipe for the Tour of France, so that he arrives in the best of his physical condition. And finally, do we have to worry about EGAN Bernal's knee injury? Hannah, I would appreciate if you do the translation of the answer. Thank you.
Okay, so I think first one for Danny. I think we can see from last week, a good win in Algarve, and tracking quite well for the Tour. He's certainly ambitious about the Tour. He's had this as a goal for the last since the end of last year. I think the Tour route suits him very well. It's a great opportunity for him. So, I think at the moment we're perhaps looking at Tour Suisse more than Dauphiné, but we're still going to decide. That decision is going to be next week. But he'll pretty much do a traditional program going into the Tour. We've done this numerous times. I think we feel quite confident with it. And I think one of the main things for Danny is heat exposure, and just sort of spending time in the heat at the right time is one challenge for him. But other than that, all good, no problems whatsoever. And then for Egan, no, there's no concerns. I think unfortunately he had a fall in San Juan. He landed on the knee, nothing to do with the accident from last year. But like anything, these things take a little bit of time. You can never sort of put any time frame on it. But he's doing well. He's obviously a little bit disappointed he's not in Europe now racing at the moment. But one thing with Egan, you got to hold him back, because he's an ambitious guy, like all of these lads. And we can't have asked any more of Egan, to be honest, up to this point. So,
but Egan will go to the Paris-Nice.
No, he's not going to ride Paris-Nice. No, we're not sure when he's going to race next yet, but he's okay. He's okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rod and Tom. Thank you.
Okay, next one, Yuri.
Good afternoon, Yuri Einsen, Wielerflits, Dutch media. Good afternoon, Rod. Good afternoon, Hannah, and good afternoon, Tom. Tom, you've been climbing well last week in Algarve. Now racing cobbles again. What does that mean for the legs? How did that feel in the recon?
Yeah, I think yesterday in the recon I was going pretty well. Yeah, my least favorite climb, the Bosberg, I went up it the fastest I've ever gone up it yesterday, so that's not a bad thing. And I think, last week in Algarve I was climbing well. I guess it's nice to get a win already, after kind of sacrificing the cross. I was watching in envy the World Championships, and but it's nice that it's kind of paying off a little bit already, the fact that I've had a longer to prepare for the road season.
Given the fact Bosberg isn't your favorite climb, then how do you will go to the final then? Because it's more or less the decisive climb, of course.
We'll see. I think there's more than just the Bosberg, and tomorrow, there's I think a lot of strength and depth tomorrow in the field. So I said it's not my favorite climb, but yesterday I went up it fast, so it doesn't mean that I can't go up it fast.
Thanks.
Okay, next question from Pavel.
Hi, Hannah, hi Tom, hi Rod. My name is Pavel Gadzawa. I'm from Polish outlet rowery.org. Tom, just a kind of general question. I think you've got some experience in the classics last year. You're starting now in Omloop. What's the general approach to the classic season? Do you have a plan how to kind of put accents on different races, or do you just want to be your best in every race you do and hope that's enough? Like, what's your thinking about it?
Well, I think last year as a team was our best year in the classics to date, and I think we come in this year with confidence from that and to build on that. Of course, last year was not exactly was not the best period for me, so this year it's not going to be difficult to beat that, I think. Yeah, I think the classics, I couldn't really tell you which one is my favorite. So I think it's kind of a case of being in great shape, and then one day you'll have the shape to, well, I'll have the shape to hopefully win one. But it's difficult to kind of really point out one to win, I guess.
Okay, and do you feel like you're going to be more watched in a sense that, of course, you've been watched before, but like, do you think there's going to be any difference in terms of how your main competitors approach you and the way you race?
No, I think I've always kind of been watched. I think that was also, a factor last year in the team success, because I mean, I'm not saying that, it was, we have a strong team, and if people are looking at me, then it gives opportunities to other people in the team. And I think last year, with me not being 100%, that it created some success, and I think that's I think it's something that I have to live with. I mean, I haven't won massively on the road yet, but I think I have a name where people watch me, which is, maybe unfortunate, but it's just how it is.
Okay, next question, Bart, please.
Hi, Tom, Bart from Belgium newspaper, Laatste Nieuws. I got a question. You changed your build-up to the season, not doing the World Championship, cyclocross and stuff like that. Does it mean you will be in a better shape during the classics? Is that the big goal, the big plan that's behind all the things you changed?
Yeah, I mean, last year was inconsistent with illness and things, and I kind of wanted to get a more solid base. And yeah, at the end of last season, after the mountain bike worlds kind of went wrong, I was not really in the headspace looking forward so much to cross, but I understand its kind of importance, in preparing for the road and in how I prepare for the road. So we kind of made the decision not to race the worlds quite early on. Whether it's right or wrong, I really enjoyed this year in the cross. So it's, it's good for next year that I am kind of already looking forward to that. But it also meant that I've had a longer period to build for the road, and I think it's already showing that, I was a different rider in Algarve to the one I was last year. That's for sure.
Did I understand it correct that you think tomorrow's race, the Omloop, is not hard enough for you to play a hat role, to play
I think, it's not the most perfectly suited race to me, but it's I think it's going to be a bit windy tomorrow. I think there's a lot of strength and depth, like I said already, from different teams. So I'm sure that teams are going to be racing from maybe earlier than normal. I mean, it's a case every year now, but I think it will be a hard enough race, but yeah.
Okay, next question from Bram, please.
Hi, Bram van der Vleuk from Dutch website In de Leidenstrui. Question for Rod. Last year we saw Ineos with a lot of new guys, low expectations and everything. How are you gonna handle the higher expectations in this classic season, and will there be another a different approach to it?
I think at the end of the day, all the guys, you know, they race the bikes because they love the thought of performing. And I think what I can see here and just the vibe just around the table with the guys here, they're all in good shape. They've got a good spirit about them. I think they'll take it on pretty well. You know, I think, of course, last year was, you know, a good year for us from the classics point of view. And I think the guys will just move on this year, to be honest, you know, and take it on. I think the classics is all about hitting it head on, isn't it? And you know, being as a team, I think they're as strong a team as we've ever had for the classics. So I think they'll be fine. No issues, really. Yeah. I think they're all up for it. Looking forward to it, I think.
Yeah, and I have one question for Tom also. Yeah, we heard your coach Kurt talk a lot about yeah, what you want to achieve this classic season. You want to be good everywhere, but I can imagine you have certain races in this classic season where you want to excel the most. Do you have favorite races or races where you look forward to the most?
Well, I think you know, yeah, I have my favorite races. I mean, Strada is one of my favorite races, Flanders also. But like I said, I think it's quite difficult to predict when my day will be, my best day. You know, it's really, the classics are, every race is super hard and super heavy, so it's difficult to, yeah, kind of know how you will come out 100%, and you see, yeah, you can respond differently to it. So I can't really say where I will, yeah, where I'm fully focusing.
Okay, next question from Adam, please.
Hi, Adam from Cycling Weekly. Just for Tom, you just mentioned Strade Bianche. I just wondered, with no Pogačar, does that change things much for you? Do you ride the same race, or does it kind of take the 50K solo out of your mind a bit?
Well, no, it doesn't change the race really. I mean, there's still going to be some good riders on the start line. Yeah, okay, Pogačar probably could have won every race he started this year if he wanted to, but yeah, it's you don't base your race off the competition. These races always happen at the same place,
and that's a race you've only done once before, I think. So what can you take from that? I think it was 5th place a couple of years ago. What can you take into a race like Strade?
Yeah, I think it's a race that's pretty suited to me, honestly. Yeah, it's hard and relatively short as well, so yeah, it's just one that I enjoy watching. One I enjoy racing. And yeah, well, last year I was there, but I wasn't racing, so after getting sick. So yeah.
Okay, next question from John, please.
Hi, Tom. John Westerby from the Times. I just wondered, when you were a younger rider, when you sort of, if you can remember, when you sort of first maybe watched the classics and became aware of what they meant, and perhaps where they sat in your ambitions when you were growing up.
I think when I was younger, I mean, I mainly watched the Tour. That was kind of the big thing that I watched. And then along with also Roubaix and Flanders, I remember watching, you know, when Cancellara and Sagan were racing, maybe the end of Boonen's career as well. Roubaix was always kind of my favorite race, even though I haven't done it as a pro yet. I always love watching that, and then obviously it's gone pretty well in the lower categories for me.
Always the first time, Tom.
Yeah, I haven't said no this year, but yeah, we that's a maybe. Yeah, so it's I think Flanders, now that I've warmed, well, not warmed to me, but you know, I get the race a lot more now. But obviously, you know, as a lighter rider that cobbles, well, I mean, Flanders probably suits me more than Roubaix, but yeah, I just kind of always clicked more and watched got Roubaix more.
Okay, next question from Søren, please.
Hi, Søren from Politiken in Denmark. Even though I'm a Dane, one of the great moments for me during the tour last year was your descending at stage 12, Tom. Could you try to explain what makes a good descender? And Rod, if you could also add in, like, what makes you being that good in that part of the cycling?
Well, I couldn't really tell you what, because it's just kind of natural to me. But I've been riding a bike since I was very little, riding to school every day when I was at school, and kind of just I've always been on a bike, always been messing around. I used to go to skate park on my BMX, and I just kind of have a kind of, it's that second nature when I get on a bike. And like the other day in Algarve, we went around the corner, and Lawrence in front of me hit some gravel, and before I even acknowledged what happened, I'd already taken my foot out, in case he was going to crash. So I don't know, it's just kind of after so long riding and messing around on my bike and making mistakes, you learn from mistakes, then you learn.
Have you ever rewatched your descending on stage 12 when you went on the outside?
Yeah, but the thing is, when I watch it, it doesn't seem as impressive. It was not a fast corner as it. Yeah, no, I'll stop.
Yeah, Rod, just one more question. You guys have been like the quote-unquote kings of the Grand Tours for several years. How are you gonna tackle today's, and Jonas? I think Jonas just won a minute ago in Galicia. How are you guys gonna tackle those guys this summer?
Well, I think we've got a strong bunch of riders. I think we of course, we didn't win a Grand Tour last year, and we totally take on the competition is strong. I think it's made us roll up our sleeves. It's made us look at all the different areas that we want to improve. Across the board, we've got with people like Geraint in the team who sort of bring so much experience and tactically a lot of experience. We need to tap into people like Geraint, and then sort of just balance that with the younger guys who are all developing into them roles as well. So I think we're in that transition of sort of bringing in the younger guys. And Tom being one who had a fantastic debut to the Tour last year. And I think has ambitions in the future at Grand Tours, and so it's all about development, moving on, taking these races head on. I think, as we can see from last year, everybody can crack. Nobody's superhuman out there, and you've got to be ready for your moment. So competition's high. There's no guarantee there. We're not going in with an out-and-out favourite, but the lads will certainly be competitive and ready. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll take the last two questions from Yuri and Pavel, and then we'll bring the press conference to a close. Yuri, you go first.
Tom, everybody is talking about Arnaud Delis as main favorite with you around him. I would like to know how you think about that, and what does the departure of Dylan van Baarle mean for the dynamics in the team, also in the race, but also outside the race, for example, at the card games you always play?
Yeah, I mean, I also kind of think that it's Arnaud's race to lose. He also has gone well in the start of this year. I haven't raced him yet, but if he goes to the finish with anyone, it's his race to lose. So yeah, that's kind of I understand why he's probably the favorite. And I think Dylan departing, obviously, he was a great addition to this team, but at the same time, we have kind of I'm not saying that it's his like I said, he was a great addition, but we have now a younger team that we can build together from, you know, the start, really. You know, we've all joined the team in the last 2 years, and yeah, we can build that together and over the next few years and create a really strong classics team. So yeah, it's Dylan leaving is a shame, but you know, we're not we still have a strong team, and maybe even stronger.
And then last question for Pavel, and we'll bring it to a close.
Thanks, Hannah. I'll note that I'm not sure if there is an answer to that question, but hear me out. So there's of course a lot of classics coming up in March, and you talk about, you know, racing it and then not necessarily knowing when you're going to be on that kind of 100, 120 where you can win. Can you talk a little bit about what the main challenge is in terms of maintaining high form throughout that period? Because, you know, if you look from now to say, well, beginning of April, maybe a bit more, that's a little bit over a month and a half. What's the main challenge for you as a rider? Is it physical, or is it more kind of maintaining the focus and kind of through all the different races? Thanks.
I think, you know, it's important to get blocks of training in. If you do every classic, then you kind of just go from race to race. But yeah, in the way my program is structured, I have good breaks between racing where I can go away and train and work towards the next races, which might be slightly different.
Okay, brilliant. Well, thank you everyone for joining us, and hope to see you, if not at opening weekend, out on the road very soon. Okay, thank you.
Cheers, folks.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You.